My Australian tour Beatles t-shirt. That's right, I was there. But the Beatles. What a band. Probably the greatest musical act the world has ever seen. Or heard. Smelt? But do you ever get bored of the 200 Beatles songs that you listen to over and over again and wish there were more? Well, can there be? Now, thanks to AI, I guess. But what did people do before computers? Well, you'd have to find similar bands from the same time period with the same kind of sound and say, hey, this has a Beatlesque kind of feel to it. Then you can dream and wish it was the Fab Four reincarnated. Which brings us to, in my opinion, one of the greatest Beatles-sounding albums that aren't the Beatles ever. Cl2. Now this is their album Hope from 1977. My dad's favourite year. Probably your dad's favourite year too. Unless you are a dad. Pretty much this is like a musical opera. So dissimilar to the Beatles there. But there's a few tracks on this. At least I hope there still are. That sound very Beatlesy. Now, I won't be able to play more than like 5 seconds of any of these, but I'll put the descriptions in the description. Tracks. Let's start off with track 1, I suppose. Good build-up. That could be Paul. And the only ones allowed to come are those who feel they can. And the only thing you got to bring will follow the North Star to nowhere at all. Okay, there's another track on this I want to cover really quickly. Well, two actually. On the reverse side, flip side, side 2, there's a song about a lighthouse keeper who's the last entity in the world and he's lonely. It's about his dying days. It's beautiful. One of the greatest musical pieces I've ever heard since Mozart's. But we won't be listening to that right now because I'm sure that's copyrighted, like most of these are. We're going to skip to the last track and the title of the album, Hope. Or hopefully. Hopefully, hope. I'll put the link in the description. It's a great song. It's kind of got a something in the way she moves vibe. I think it's the bass. And the drums, obviously. Perfect. Cl2's a great little band. With their first album, and one song in particular called Sub Rosa Subway, people actually thought it was the Beatles got back together in the early 70s. But alas, it wasn't. Great musicians. Terry Draper, the drummer, has a YouTube channel. Go check it out. He has some great songs on there. I'll put it in the description also. Hey Terry, if you're watching. When the World Was New.
Something that we done way back when the world was young.
I think it's a great song. If I got the title wrong, I'll put the real one there. Moving on. That's Cl2. Now, we're going to get very Beatle-y. The Peppermint Rainbow. Doesn't that just scream 60s? Will you be staying after Sunday? I hope so. Very groovy lot. Don't you love the smell of old vinyl? Just a window to the past. Decca famously turned down the Beatles. Bet they're kicking themselves after that one. Number 2, Pink Lemonade. That's what we need. Although, if you look at the back of their album, track 2 is called If We Can Make It to Monday, and not Pink Lemonade. So it's like a hidden track, I think, or just a mass typo. You be the judge. Now, ready to hear some John Lennon-esque vocals here. Red Submarine. Beautiful. Go listen to that one too after you listen to all of these. I'm sure there's some other good ones on there. Coming up next, now this one's a beauty. I've loved this for years. This is Colours, and they spelt it the right way. They spell it the English way, and for jolly good reason. Colours have the crystalline sharpness of the Beatles before they turned acid. Colours have a rainbow sound, but you can distinguish one hue from another rather than fight through a haze of phasey static, funky confusion, and screeching feedback. They also write love songs, helping you out as a kind of walk-up honesty that cuts through dreamy, greamy, gush-lick lyrics, washing your clothes when you're gone for the day, then hanging them out, helping you out. Dot Records. Helping you out. I'm always. Doesn't that sound like John and Paul? Beautiful. It starts off, he's talking about how much he does for this girl. What would you do without me? But then it turns out, where have you been? It's almost 10 after 8. Like she's left him. And it's the same upbeat, great lyrics and tempo, but the lyrics have turned. Obviously, it's the same great tempo, but the lyrics have turned into like, where are you? What happened? I thought you needed me. A great juxtaposition, to coin a phrase. Colours with no acid. We're getting very near the end, don't worry. It's a beautiful day. Seagull. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. There they are. For those who have love, time is eternity. Well, that's true. This one, not particularly exactly Beatles, but it's from 1969. Bombay Calling, Bulgaria, White Bird, Girl with No Eyes. This one's wonderful. Just had to include it in this. I could imagine it being a slow, like, White Album Beatles song. Nah, I just wanted you to hear it. The Girl with No Eyes. See, it's like a harpsichord. Who can she be? Wonderful. Go have a look to that one. Second to last one. Now this isn't quite a record. Well, it's an album. This is Ashley Park, and our only contribution from the 21st century. Very, very Beatles. Very hard to find. I found this one song that I'm going to play for you, called Central Park, on Kazaa musical sharing site. which in the early 2000s was like Napster, where I was just downloading Beatles songs like crazy, like rare outtakes, bloopers, unreleased stuff. And this claimed to be a George Harrison song, I think. And I loved it. Central Park, oh, you know it's so dangerous. See what I mean? Ashley Park. All their songs are great. All songs written and performed by Terry Miles. Mad Conduit Radio Collective. Perfect. One of my treasured possessions. Now we have the greatest Beatles sounding album I've ever heard. Now in the 70s there was a band called Wings, and these guys, especially the lead vocalists, could have been in the Beatles themselves. Very cool. This is my favorite Wings album of all time, Red Rose Speedway. I think it just had an anniversary, 40th, 50th. Who keeps track? Cool artwork. Now these songs got me through a lot. Like huge events in my life, and it was a constant. And it was a constant companion. Which one to play for you? Big Barn Bed, My Love, Get on the Right Thing is wonderful. One More Kiss, Little Lamb Dragonfly. Wonderful. Single Pigeon, Through the Railing, Did She Throw You Out? When the Night. Let's do the medley. All joking aside, this is Paul McCartney's second greatest band. So, very Beatles sounding by the very nature. But I think better in a lot of ways. Like, went up to the next level. Let's go for it. Hold me tight. There you have it. Good one, Macca. One of my favorite albums of all time. And you didn't have to do it as a Beatles. Well, thanks for watching the most Beatlesque songs that I've been able to find. Do you have any that I've missed? Any at all? Oh, okay. Well, just comment down below. I'd love to check them out. Rock on. Let's see where the Beatles played in Australia back in the 60s. It's on my back. Can you read them back to me? Where did I see them?